Three-time U.S. champion. Yeah.
U.S. champion.
US champion. So
And
you
then you
go
go
to
to
the world again.
Say that one more time.
So then the world champion comes again.
Yeah, the world championship in Belgium. Long story short, I ended up coming in second place. I lost by, he said a half point. It was close, but yeah. So I went to Belgium, but Belgium was a great time too. We had a good time in Belgium.
these are
Food
these
was
are
good, music was
fantastic
good.
places. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
what?
Brussels.
Like
Brussels was awesome. Brussels is actually it's such a modern or like American looking city. Like if you didn't listen to what anybody was saying and you didn't hear that they weren't speaking English, you could just think that you were in an American city. I mean, obviously you have very European, like it's certain European architecture that you can't mistake, but like in certain places, just kind of look like you were like in another American metropolitan area. Honestly, yeah,
yeah,
I suppose a lot of like when I see a lot of footage from a lot of modern cities, it kind of ends up looking like that a lot, and it's like it's a cool thing.
yeah.
But I think what Flacco is saying is true. The experiences you've had just traveling to all these places and rapping in other
There's
countries.
nothing that like what that is the right. Like I think
bro,
speaking for every body who's ever rapped ever, right? Like our goals are definitely to like go places just to rap
Yep.
and
yeah,
be good at rapping and shit. Like that's always like a
yeah,
what?
It's like
I'll take that. I'll absolutely
to
take
like
that.
go to Europe
I'll go
too.
somewhere
Not even
distant
just
and rap.
rap
right,
to
Like
Belgium. Like these aren't just the regular countries. Like people like okay, going Paris.
right,
Paris is like more of a regular country. Belgium is like okay.
yeah,
yeah, right. And Brussels is like equidistant to London, Paris, Amsterdam, and so like they have all this culture that moves through it, and so it's like a
yeah.
rich country.
They
Yeah.
have the Euro tripping culture out there that like is
Hmm.
all just trains. You take a train from one country into the next.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, that's right.
Did you get to do that once you were done
No,
with the
no.
okay,
I know
okay.
Basics did that. He ended up going to Amsterdam after we left, but nah, my trip was just pretty much going and come back. Yeah.
Work. I mean that's an fucking great experience, I'm sure,
Yeah.
on its
Yeah, it
own.
was awesome. It was awesome. We had we had a party one night in the street and it was so real that the cops came and we thought they were gonna shut us down. They were like, nah, you good. Just turn down the music like a little bit. And they just left and we just kept partying in the street and we were valid. Like it was just like the universe was just
That's
rocking
lit.
with
That's
us.
lit. Yeah.
God.
So what happens after you get back from Belgium?
Shit, the pandemic hit. Yeah,
I was
come back
about
from
to say,
Belgium. Come back from Belgium, and everything is pretty much just cool run-ins. And then January comes, Kobe passes, Pop Smoke passes, pandemic starts, the world is upside down. Shortly after that, unfortunately, Vice passes away, and we're in the thick of the pandemic. And I think I think the whole 2020, everything was just really stagnant, just really just kind of in a weird space. Um, I was doing things online. Like I had this thing called the 6 foot bar challenge where I was having people rap and I was giving them like the winner would get prize, like there would be prize money and the winner would either get they got either choose to take part of their prize money and then give part of it to a charity or give all of it to a charity. And so I was doing that for a little while, as far as rap stuff. But it was pretty much, kind of stagnant. Like I said, I'm a teacher. So I was just teaching on Zoom. I teach rap and poetry. So I was just teaching poetry on Zoom with the kids for the whole year, you know. Um, and then I guess we could fast forward because, you foreshadowed it a couple of times. Um, but we could fast forward to 2021. I don't think anything significant happened in my rap life after that. But oh, Clubhouse. So I get on Clubhouse and Lupe is like on Clubhouse, like telling people, like I'm dope and shit like that, which is fire. And then at some point he does an interview with Royce the 5'9's brother, actually. His name's Kid Vicious. And he tells him that like I'm top 3 in the world. And like, oh, that's crazy. Like that shit is fire. So I think that kind of had a little bit of pretext for the conversation that happened with Royce and Lupe, 7, 8 months later. So that was fall of 2020. Fast forward to summer of 2021, Lupe, Royce, and all these cats are having some conversation about who's the best rapper in the world or whatever. I wasn't really following it because I was heavy.
Yeah,
I had just
Lupe initiates the whole conversation. It was covered on all the like media outlets that Lupe went on Twitter and started proclaiming who were the greatest pens in all of rap.
Okay. Yeah. So they're having that convo, and I'm chilling. I'm with my students. I'm about to be working in person for the first time. I was an assistant site director at my job, so I'm like really focused. But I start hearing this stuff. I'm still paying attention, and at some point, Lupe is having a convo with Royce about me. He's telling Royce that I'm the best in the world, and EO Dub is where you got to go to be the best or whatever.
To be the best.
And then Royce is being condescending, which is totally fine in the realm of rap. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I'm just sitting there enjoying. It's par for the course. So I'm enjoying this shit. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this nigga Lupe is here talking to Royce about me, and Royce is throwing shots. And I'm sitting there like, okay, cool. And then somebody sends me another video of Royce throwing shots again. And I'm like, you know what? All right, bro. You know what? Niggas is talking hot. Let me step in the ring a little bit. And so, I end up putting out Royce the 6 Feet Deep. It was really supposed to be what I felt like it was what I felt like it sounded like, which was just like a first volley,
mm-hmm.
in anticipation of anything that might be coming back. So if I got to go even crazier after, I would. But, Royce is talking hot. And in the world of rap, like you said, par for the course, for rap is talking hot, we don't converse with you back. We don't call up Denzel to host a debate. We don't sword fight. We don't mud wrestle. We don't thumb war. We don't text. We don't Angry Birds. We rap.
Nope.
You feel me? And so, I threw the 6 Feet Deep, and it was fun. It was fun. I wrote it. I had sent it to James. James was like, yo, can we release it on the EO Dub page? I was like, sure. And, that was that first step in that whole process for me.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And so, like, what? How does that like?
What was the?
Like, so you dropped this song and like.
How was the from your perspective from there? How did everything?
Well, the homies loved it. The homies loved it. I'll say that. And I was really hyped to get the homies hype. It's like, all right, boom, like Son is going at it with Royce 5'9", like that shit's crazy. Also, Royce is pretty revered. So
absolutely.
I guess to a certain extent, it's kind of like jarring for people to be like, yo, Son is going at Royce? Like, hold on, like that's Royce. You feel me? And so, so actually I had dropped the snippet of it. And then after I posted the snippet, Lupe reposted, he shared the snippet that I dropped on his Instagram page. And I hadn't even finished writing it at that point. And so after he did that, I was like, okay, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish writing this shit. And so I drop it. People are loving it. The homies is loving it. EO Dub drops it. And it's like a mixture. It's like, there's a lot of people saying that it's trash, and there's a lot of people saying that it's fire. I mean, I'm a realist. I can understand why people who said it's trash within the context of what people believe about Royce versus what people believe about Lupe. And if Lupe is saying this person is the greatest rapper versus the content that was there, and me knowing that wasn't me putting in my full effort because it was a first volley in a rap, and any battle rapper knows if you're going to go first, don't put your most fire shit first, because then you're allowing cats to respond. So within the context of all of that, I was actually happy with the response for it. You know what I mean? And it was cool. And then, it turns into, I guess it turns into Royce. He felt some type of way about it. And, he was talking about it in his stories. He thought he was disrespectful. Um, and you know, it was kind of by that time the ball was kind of rolling. So for me, it was like, okay, he's talking about it. All right, well, I'm gonna keep rapping. If you're gonna say something, I'm gonna just rap. And so I was, you know, I ended up doing another response, rapping at rapping in response to stuff that he was saying in his stories that I had posted on my Instagram. And that came cool. And then at some point, there was a day where Lupe, I forgot who dropped first. Oh yeah, Royce did the diss to Lupe, and then Lupe did the diss back to Royce, where he name drops me. And he's like, "Yo, I'm still waiting for you to respond to Osryris." And I'm like, "All right, this all of this energy is going on. Like this shit is crazy. Niggas is dropping these long ass songs."
That was when it was getting like it was on every media outlet.
Yeah, Complex, all
everywhere.
And then at that point, I just dropped, and everything I was dropping was on Instagram and on my SoundCloud, because that's the medium that seemed like everything was happening at. And so I ended up that day that they dropped those two songs, I came home from work, and it was such a crazy time. It was so much going on in my life at that time, but I came home from work that day, and you know I found a beat, and I just wrote, and I wrote this song. I don't know if y'all heard it, called the Eliud. It's like an 8-minute song that I did where, you know, I threw some disses at Royce on it. But it was me kind of just meeting guys where they was at with it. Like, okay, yeah, I could rap. I could rap too. And so we're going to do this. And so, you know, I did it, shared it. People were loving it. At least in my circle, people were loving it, you know, and it was just, I think all in all, that was kind of like towards the end of that entire experience. You know, Royce never threw any like formal disses back at me. You know, his brother, Kid Vicious, you know, we had gotten into a little back and forth on the internet, on Instagram. But I had already had like not a relationship with him from before, but we had already been involved in something on Clubhouse before. So we already had a little bit of a whatever you want to say. So whenever we were having that little drama, and he was like, yo, he was kind of on some time where he was like, this could go past rap. And I'm like, all right, what type of time are you on? I'm on some rap time in it. So we ended up getting on the phone and we ended up squashing it. And so that was that. But I think all in all, that whole experience was just a lot of fun because I just did some fun writing. I went at it.
It was super
Royce.
viral. Super viral.
I went at it with Royce. You know what I mean? Lupe is showing me love. And it was just a good space. It was just a good space, you know, and I feel like it's all healthy hip hop stuff. I think it's super healthy hip hop stuff, you know? That's how I felt about it.
I really enjoyed spectating that in real time when it was happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that was I saw that like that moment mixed with Griselda's rise has been kind of like earmarking like this like kind of like movement like I don't want to say back to like lyricism, but like kind of like making room for lyricism to be on the same plateaus that we're upholding everything else to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in that conversation that's being had, what Lupe is trying to ensure is that like the everyday man or the everyday MC places don't get overlooked. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that he also might have saw that like battle rap was kind of like people's go-to, right? Like your knee-jerk, like, oh, you want me? I'm gonna show you how cool I am. And when you ask me who my favorite lyricist is, I'm gonna name some, you know, battle rapper to show you how underground and, you know, informed I am or whatnot. And like I think that Lupe is like, yo, it goes deeper than even that, you know, like y'all are even scratching the surface with just that. There's a whole nother world going on out here. And end of the week, it like deserves to be on par with those pedestals that you're upholding for people, you know? And that's a great look, yo. That's a great look for him to, you know, be lavishing all that praise on you and the dub.
And the dub, yeah, facts. Yeah, he's a good dude for that, for real.
Great dude.
It was
Yeah,
cool to see
absolutely.
that. Also, it's cool how it happened, right? Because you didn't just like get it like random. He saw you on YouTube. Nah, you were like the blindfolded guy with the Nipsey whole presentation. Like you did
Mm-hmm.
work to earn it, as has
Yeah,
been the case and the consistent theme, along with friends helping you in that moment too. So it's bigger than just you. It's like a whole thing, and so it's like everything kind of rewarded you for it, for following that journey and just being involved with it.
yeah.
So what like follows up the Royce era, the Royce situation?
Jeez. Um, I mean, you know, I just kind of like, how can I describe it? I kind of just do what feels right or what feels good
Mm.
with this rap shit all of the time. I realize, there's so much to say in a journey. Like I didn't talk about the fact that I had dropped a project in 2018, which is my first project. But like
What was the
I'm
name of it?
always just
That's the
making music. It was called.
the
I'm sorry.
purple
What were you
the
saying, Jose?
purple one.
Yeah, the Purple Color Theory.
Yeah.
And that project was a whole story. Like it ended up becoming like this very women centric project. It wasn't supposed to be, but I'm glad that it ended up turning out that way, just because of how everything happened that year and how that project ended up being developed. But in general, like I kind of just do what feels good in the moment, and I just been
Hell
doing.
yeah.
I just been kind of just doing me in a way. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been on Instagram doing like my whole, my freestyles. I mean my verses with the dictionary every day or every other day. Um, and then also just my personal life. I've been going through a lot as well. And so, my personal life has also been taking a lot of precedent. But it's just the Royce thing. I've just been kind of just doing what's fun and what feels good. Nothing specific, nothing nailed down. But I'm always writing. I'm always writing. I'm always rapping. And like I said, I'm part of a crew. It's a dance-led live show, and I have a residency that I do with them at 92nd Street Y in Manhattan once a month. And so, I do that on a regular basis. So I'm always performing with them. But I call myself a bohemian rapper sometimes. I just kind of just go with the energy. You know.
That's really dope. And
Oh
you
yeah, I
won the
won the Diesel
Diesel
Challenge.
Challenge.
It's so many things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Forgot.
The Diesel
Won the
Challenge
Diesel
was fun.
Challenge. And that was
Yeah.
that was
Oh
you
yeah.
won the whole thing. And what was the prize for that?
The prize was, I think, Mickey D's. Um,
Mm.
but
So you won the prize.
no, no, it was 5 G's for that. But
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, one
Mm-hmm.
thing I was
That's
proud of with that one was the 88 bars, the verse that I wrote, because that was something that I was working on from before. Ode to Jay Z,
mm-hmm.
22 twos, 44 fours, and I was really glad that I was able to write that and put that down. EO Dub always gives me opportunities to be my most creative.
Mm.
And so I think when I think back to all of my most creative times, most of them were with EO Dub. And so, yeah, I really appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yo, that was quite a fucking journey. You know what I mean? Like
Thank you. I'm glad
that
you guys are
that
listening to the
that's
whole shit.
that
That's
Nah, man.
what?
It's really
Nah,
valid.
what?
Every
I
word, bro.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you, bro. That means a lot.
I've loved this journey of like uh for me, like, it was mostly getting to know my friends better, right?
mm,
Like, because I'm inviting Poison Pen and Mickey actually also is one of our guests, and like these
Yeah.
are my friends, and like, but like I also realized like in the middle of doing this, like, yo, we're such superficial friends, especially like in like the battle rap circle. Is just always like a lot of like battle rap talk and like fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
everyday regular whatever talk. You know what I'm saying? It's never like, what your mom was fucking playing or what your dad was fucking playing, growing up and
Yeah.
shit. And like getting to know that is like super just
Yo,
dope.
it's
You know what I'm
honestly
saying? Like I don't
it's
really even have a
interesting because like there's so many little commonalities. Like how all y'all in New York know all these singy songs I never heard of. Like to me, that's super interesting. Or then there's all the parts where like the age thing. When you start talking about Power Rangers, though, I'm like, okay, now we talking my language. And it's just wild
Yeah,
how like
yeah,
the ebbs and flows of time just correlate with people's journeys, and how honestly you can ask a question about people's childhoods and music, and almost nobody will ever answer that question the same.
right.
It's
yeah
just cool. And then, but your journey's like mad, like bohemian. That's a really good way to put it, actually, because like it's
word.
super standout compared to a lot of other people's who like really pursued it heavy, and you just kind
Yeah,
of were like, I'm gonna make the music when the time comes, and then the dub came, and then I won the dub by
Damn,
accident, and then I
there's some
decided to
there's
try
some
harder.
yeah
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah
Basically,
So like it's a really fun story,
basically,
and like for me, it's just like
yeah,
it's like anybody can really do it, because like there are so many people who can do it in so many different ways.
hmm
yeah. And then like there's so many other details to like these stories of like things that were going on in my life, or other sides of stories where somebody had to convince me of something, or I had to have this interaction with a person that like totally changed. Like there's so many other little things, you know. And so I'm just like kind of a cog in this musical system in a lot of ways, you know.
I think most of
Or
us.
just like within the rhythm of just the rhythm of the universe, and music is just like the thing that we're talking about right now. But it's just like it's all part of a life
yeah
experience
nah I
that
mean
I have
it
not
really
much control
really
over.
we it just so happens, right, that we do music and run in the same circles, right?
Yeah,
And the commonality is there, but like really, like it goes beyond just the musical thing. This is a life journey that we just, you know what I mean? Like
It's
this
like
was your life
yeah,
journey, and
basically.
that's what makes it like like entertaining and just like a
yeah,
pleasure. You know, like
You're
it's
also
like yo, it was your life journey and your shit is unique to you. And
yeah.
for me, speaking for both me and Holden, right? I'm speaking for everybody today.
you got it,
I'm
bro.
just like, I'm just gonna go ahead and speak for people and shit.
It's because
But like
it's the
speaking
late
for
show,
us,
right?
it's,
It's a later hour than normal, and so it's less
yeah.
my time of day. Now Flacco's like, this is when I.
Speaking for everybody, left and right out this bitch. But like speaking for us, like that's like the coolness of it, right? Is like hearing somebody else's life journey and like the uniqueness
Yeah,
of that story. And your story was unique and fantastic. And
thank you,
I'm
bro.
like, you know what I mean? Look forward to like seeing the rest of it unfold. You know what
Facts.
I'm
Me
saying?
too. Me too, man.
Honestly, it's
Word.
super dope that you shared it with us and that you took your time. And honestly, there are some serious knowledge nuggets baked into what you said, just life lessons. And I think like the biggest takeaway, yo, A, it could take a long time, and B, play nice with others, cause yo, people around you gonna help, and that was
That's
beautiful.
a fact.
Big time knowledge
Big
nuggets.
fact. Thank you.
And I appreciate
Thank
you
you,
sharing
bro.
that with us. I also just want to give a shout out to End of the Week, who have us here on their platform as we
Word.
have this
Yeah.
conversation, and because it's super important to do that. Oh yeah, we should give out all the socials, and yours isn't your name, so it's better.
Shouts to life
What is it,
sources.
at Maroon Waters? Is that your Instagram?
Yeah, Maroon Waters.
And
Hmm.
that's it. And then
And if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's maroon.waters. I just started to kind of get active on my
get
TikTok.
it. I appreciate the TikTok grind.
Hmm
Um, and then also make sure to follow End of the Week because they're wonderful people. In my opinion, the easiest way
Yeah,
is to go to eodub.com. That's eodub.com, and all their stuff is there. And
me
it's the
too.
easiest way to find your preferred eodub consuming method. um, but yo, do you have anything coming in the near future for the people out there? I forgot to ask that.
No, not that I could think of right now.
Well,
But
they
if you
could
follow me,
always stop by the Y on what was that
Facts.
again?
yeah,
90
yeah,
sec 2nd
92nd
Street.
Street, Y, classic dance, legendary dance studio. We have our next show is March 11th,
Mm.
and we do it every month. It's a very dope show, very fun. And just you can also follow Layer Rhythm. Follow LAYERHY, however you spell rhythm, but there's one R. Layer Rhythm. That's my crew that I rock with.
Facts.
Yeah,
Awesome.
on Instagram.
Thank you so much
Work.
for coming through, man. Honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you all who watched it in the lives on the various live places you are. You guys are all wonderful. Cause some people always be sticking through it. It's like you might think it's not cool, but
Yeah,
people be sticking through and listening to it.
Yeah.
Appreciate
that's
all
the
of y'all
stuff.
who gonna watch it in the future. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And yeah, on that note, honestly, live long and prosper, everyone. It was great to have you here.
Gang, gang. Word. Be safe.
Peace, y'all. Thank you.